Hello, and welcome back to the Strawberry No channel. I am once again reacting to more Honkai Impact 3rd cinematics. And picking up where we left off, I have some comments that you good people wrote. My cat was sleeping the entire day, and now suddenly, when I decided to record, he activated, and now you can't see it, but he's rubbing on my monitor on the other side and showing me his asshole right now. It's great. Look, there he is. He looks so dumb. So yeah, anyway, the comments. Someone clarified that part 1 of Honkai Impact 3rd basically is the story of Kiana. So when her story ends, that's when the part actually ends. And then part 1.5 basically cleans up Silis and Fu Hua's story from what the comment mentioned. And part 2 is about something or someone called the Dream Seeker. Following that, I made a joke about Raiden May's father, that Honkai the Third is fantasy because someone with money and status faced consequences for their actions, and one of the top comments mentioned that he was actually framed, so it was pretty ironic. Not gonna lie, I was kind of picking on that vibe that they were talking about him in a way that I was about to say he was probably framed or something. Also, time stop and time slow, actually, Kiana was doing a times extreme time slow, I think, not a full time stop. Time slow and time stop are actual in-game mechanics, and they are, from what the comment mentioned, they are super valuable for endgame content, because if you can like stop a boss for a second or something, that's just free damage for you. So supposedly nowadays, like, pretty much every character comes with their own time stop or time slow, and at the beginning of Honkai it was a very rare ability from what he mentioned. Somebody else suggested, because I was slightly confused about some of the cinematics. What are they and what's happening? Are they like cutscenes? Are they like something else from YouTube? Somebody suggested I follow another playlist that they made, and it like cleans up the chronology a little bit. And I think some other comments also mentioned that some of the operation centers spoil a little bit of things going forward. This is all sorta a consequence of me just not playing the game. If I was playing the game, none of this would be a problem. I would be getting the story in an intended way, with obviously a lot of other dialogue to fill it in. So I decided I'm just gonna keep going with this playlist, because this is sort of a problem I made, but at the same time I don't think any of you would like however many hours it requires to get through the story. I imagine it's a fuck ton of hours to actually get through the story of Honkai Impact 3rd, which is not a problem if it's an enjoyable experience, and many of you, I think, are hinting at the possibility that this is a fucking banger, and you know, those cutscenes are also proving it. But yeah, the only way to get the story proper would be for me to play the game, and I don't think you folks would enjoy let's play more than this format where I just react to the high pass moments. And even if you do, because I will eventually play the game for sure, I just don't have that time on my hand right now. As the channel grows, as I can commit more time and resources to the channel instead of, you know, doing my 9 to 5, I definitely will play the game. I will definitely make like some sort of supercut of me again reacting to basically these cutscenes and like the dialogue and the gameplay and stuff. So yeah, that's just gonna be cleaned up with time and actually playing the game. So no sweat about me getting something out a little bit out of chronology at this point, I think. It was also explained to me that mantis are these like experimental. Kevin Kaslana, the white-haired dude from the previous era, the strongest human from the previous era, is a mantis. They are like experimental super soldiers, basically. He was the first one, I think he was the first one to successfully undergo the procedure, and like the data about his procedure went on to like much increase the success of this. So like humanity started producing more and more soldiers capable of fighting the Honkai. A lot of people also recommended to me the manga. The manga is supposedly fantastic and fills in even more holes because the manga is actually, that's insane. I'm watching the pristine cut, abridged version of the story from the game, right? And then the manga is even more story that they couldn't fit into the game. That is insane how much of writing for Honkai happened, especially if you consider like this is a fucking gacha game. I don't mean to insult the genre, but you know there are so many like low effort gachas out there. It's sort of like mobile games. There are many great mobile games, but the term mobile game has a lot of negative connotations. The same with gachas, which used to be way more of a common occurrence, but now with Honkai Impact 3rd paving the way for Genshin Impact, which was huge, and it features an open world you can explore and shit like that. And then obviously ZZZ coming, Wuthering Waves, there are a bunch of other gachas I don't know in between all of that. So nowadays the optics on gacha games are improving. It have improved quite significantly, and I couldn't be like any happier for that, because like there are gacha games out there you should treat seriously. They are not just like JPEG collection games that you play on your phones like fucking Raid Shadow Legends or some shit. They are quality, they feature like full-length stories. Each like Honkai Impact 3rd features a lot of story, and they released the manga for free. So yeah, the manga, long story short, the manga got recommended to me. One comment even mentioned that I could do like a read through. The manga is free on Hoyo website, so I could do that. But again, just like playing the game, those are ideas for the future. That's not gonna happen right now, but I would be down to reading some manga that fills me in on those ideas. Lastly, but I think most importantly, a lot of people broke down. I asked, why do characters like Bronya reappearing, like Mei, they keep reappearing, they appear. Some versions of those characters appear in Genshin Impact, others in like Honkai Star Rail. I don't know actually. Does ZZZ fit into that whole thing? Because I don't remember if like any of the ZZZ characters is blatantly a version of a character that appeared before. But anyway, you guys broke it down for me, the connection between Honkai Impact 3rd and Star Rail. Basically, you painted a picture that the whole Hoyoverse is an imaginary tree, and branches of that tree, points of that tree, however you want to interpret it, are different universes. So they are connected by some kind of strand, but those games are not happening in the same universe. So yeah, it's a completely different universe, and is Welt the only person who ever made that jump between the verses, kind of? I'm not sure. And also on that note, Raven from Honkai Impact 3rd is Natasha from Star Rail, and that got me fucked up because that's, oh man, that's like a different character, dude. I guess she was always caring for some fucking kids and orphans in some way, huh? I guess that is the thread that connects those characters. So yeah, basically like the idea of a character, sometimes how they look, in some cases like they really resemble each other, in some cases less, but that idea gets passed through the three, and basically there can be multiple Bronias who are completely different characters with completely different experiences, and maybe share some trait between each other, but those are, for our intents and purposes, completely different characters. Anyway, that wraps up this beefy segment. Sorry for ranting, I just had to react to all the comments. By the way, I read all the comments. All of them, period. I will always read all the comments before I record the next episode. You don't have to worry about me missing out on your comments. I know that there are a lot more comments that discussed various things happening in the universe. I just thought those are like the major things. There was a lot of mentions about the keys. The keys are also an important part of the Honkai 3rd lore, and they are these supremely powerful devices that kinda have unique properties. So for now, I just assumed maybe it's not worth discussing because either I'm missing the context from the game and that's it, or some operating setter will just mention that context. Also, somebody said to me that the reason behind auto-reviving the Herschel will be actually revealed in his cinematic, so I'm looking forward to that. And with that all out of the way, we are coming back to the gang fighting with Fu Hua. But it's not really Fu Hua, it's like a being born of all of the combination of all of those things, you know. It's hard to, you know, the mechanics of living a life of immortality for so fucking long and having perfect memories, but then losing those memories, sacrificing them more like, and then like awakening as an Herrscher and getting experimental surgery. The identity politics of all of that are fucking complicated. I think that's a separate entity, but I'm not sure if that separate entity has a name. Anyway, let's drop back into the cinematics finally. It's a little bit loud and I need to take a sip of my coffee because my throat is dry after yapping for so long. Man, that's such an anime as fuck shot.
あなたたち、ちゃんと言うことを聞きなさい。くそ、くそ、くそ。あなたたち、このバカ。たわけが。どうして邪魔をする？
Oh hey, she's flying on her sword. I know that one also.
Kiana. 力を抑えて。
Also, the last like breakdown of Fu, this is like kind of dime a dozen with any anime thing, and it happens a lot of with Genshin and Star Rail. But like Fu Hua has so many fucking abilities and so many like names for all of them and so many properties to all of them. It's very complex is what I'm saying, like with those phoenix feathers that she used her last the previous Fu Hua, not this one, used the last of her power to kind of support the gang through these feathers, but it's so fucking complex. Like this whole power that it just takes a minute to break it all of down in your noggin. Also, this animation is so fucking good. I've been saying that pretty much for all of these like animated cutscenes, but I don't know what happened between Honkai Impact 3rd and like Genshin Impact and Star Rail, because like the cutscenes in those games are not of this quality, is all I'm gonna say. At least in my personal opinion. And the real Fu Hua design is really fucking banging. Not a fan of the like shadow version of that.
もういい。またなの。犠牲の上での勝利だな。私は嫌だ。委員長、返して。
That looks. That looks like. That looks like a bad fucking idea. The concept of bringing somebody back to life.
嘘をつかないよ。律説はここまでのようです。信じてくれた人も私のせいでいなくなりました。
So I believe the comments also broke down this scene. This is like the previous era Kevin Caslana, I think, taking down the previous era Himeko after she became a Herrscher, right in front of Fu Hua. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. I always could be mistaken, like I haven't played the game yet, even, so...
委員長、私は嘘をつかないよ。律説はここまでのようです。信じてくれた人も私のせいでいなくなりました。私は強いから、そんなの心配ないよ。どれだけ努力しても歳月の流れにはかないません。結局私は一人ぼっちです。一人ぼっちにさせないから。どうしてここに？
This is an epic like scene and the music is beautiful, but the only thing I keep thinking about is like the context of this scene is Kiana wants to revive a person who suffered so fucking much just so she could live on and suffer again because she's effectively immortal, like outliving all her friends, loved ones, watching people die in the struggle against the Honkai. Like, it's kind of a fucked up thing to do after this person was finally laid to rest. It's kind of fucked up to bring her back, man. Is how I would morally stand on that.
ならもう一度倒せばいい。私から逃げるなんて許さないから。
Again, Kiana, I don't think it's you she's running away from. It's the like thousands of lifetimes of pure agony. This outfit also fucking was really cool for Fu Hua. Like the ancient kung fu master or something. I don't know how else to say it. We did it! We brought her back to life! She can watch more of her friends die. That's so fucked up. I know it's meant to be like really cheery and hopeful and a happy conclusion to this arc of the story, but if I was her, I would be fucking pissed off, dude. I would be like, don't fucking revive me. I already like paid my due 1,000-fold. Honkai Chronicles. Okay, so this is...
A few years after the second eruption in 2000, a girl came into this imperfect world in an experiment pod.
This is interesting. This is different than operating centers, but also a recap quite like those. Okay, let's go
She
into
had
it.
no name, only a cold serial number, K423. K423 was created by Otto via splicing Kiana Kaslana's genes, and that from Siren the Hersher of the Void together. The Hersher core attained consciousness in the new body, and she was expected to become a human with Hersher powers. In 2007,
Sorry, splicing Kiana Kaslana's genes and the genes of
Hersher core
Sirin.
attained consciousness in the new body.
Okay, so Kiana is a separate being from this Kiana we've been following? That's hard to follow. How does that work, essentially? There's two of them? She like this same person, but how the fuck would that work? Is it like that Raiden situation where there's kind of two of them from Genshin Impact, or there's kind of two of them? Not really.
And she was expected to become a human with Hersher powers.
Also,
In
goddamn
2007,
beautiful
Siegfried Kaslana attempted
visuals.
to abduct K423 in secret, but was intercepted by Shicksal in his escape.
Okay,
His
Siegfried, that's
biological daughter went missing afterward. Siegfried adopted K423 and raised her as his own, but was unwilling to name her after his own daughter.
okay. Okay, so that's happening.
Missing after by Shicksal in his
Sorry, this is just so fucking confusing. Why was he trying to abduct the clone if he had his daughter? I would, if his daughter went missing first, then I would be like, okay, he took the clone as retaliation, or maybe he didn't know. But he tried to free the clone, and then his daughter, the original Kiana, went missing. Was it something like, again, just according to his personal morality, he didn't want the genes of his daughter to be used in this fucked up way?
Siegfried adopted K423 and raised her as his own, but was unwilling to name her after
Okay,
his own daughter.
K4, I guess, is the best I can
was until one-
K4 is, I guess, the only name I can come up with for the clone.
To protect the injured Siegfried, K423 took up arms to confront a Honkai beast in his place. A tender soul defied fate for the first time in order to protect her loved one. Touched by her action, Siegfried decided to name her Kiana Kaslana. He made a promise to her. As the descendants of House Kaslana, it was an honored tradition for them to fight for their loved ones. On this day, the girl
Right.
received her name from her father, and she set foot on a path deviating from her written fate. However, fate had other plans. In 2010, the latent Hersher persona awoke. Blazes of anger scorched the world that had just opened up to her. To protect Kiana, Siegfried used Judgment of Shamash to suppress the Hersher of the Void. But as a result, he was severely injured. Siegfried realized that he would inevitably rouse
Oh shit, he got shanksed, man.
the Hersher persona again. To protect Kiana, he left her. The girl was worthy of love. Those who loved her could do anything for her. But in the girl's eyes, it was her very existence that brought them endless sufferings and miseries. Nevertheless, she did not forget the promise with her father and continued to believe in the good of the world. In the Honkai-stricken Nagazora, when Raiden
That's
Mei,
so sweet.
who had become the Hersher of Thunder, turned against her, Kiana still reached out to her. When they were fleeing Nagazora, Himeko rescued Kiana and Mei and took them to Saint Freya. Kiana's troubled fate was finally calmed for a brief moment. On the campus, she met friends who were like family and made the solemn vow to fight for all that is beautiful in the world. She wanted to stay, but a cruel twist would soon break her hopes. Dark seeds germinated in the shadow of the peaceful years. The other sentience inside her preyed on all the good in her life once more by encroaching on her cognition and her dreams. It was Kiana's pining for a mother's love that made her awakening possible. She created illusions to make Kiana believe that she saved her mother from sacrificing herself to end the second eruption. When she realized the great joy she experienced was elusive, she broke down and let the Hersher persona take over. Being taken to the Shicksal HQ by Fu Hua, she was confined in the same bleak experiment pod just as when she was born. Only this time, Otto, who
Okay,
witnessed
so
her rebirth, wished
so
to
this
see
is
the
kind
Hersher
of
the Void return.
the things we already, mostly things we kind of seen or knew, but filling in the gaps with like her. Obviously, everything with her father is new to me
Saint Freya
personally.
group revolted and attacked the Shicksal HQ with anti-entropy to rescue Kiana. In fact, he wanted them to gamble everything for Kiana. Their deep love and the ensuing sacrifices would stimulate Kiana's emotions to help her overcome the Hersher persona, so she could become a human with Hersher powers. The Hersher of the Void achieved complete awakening and pulverized Saint Freya and anti-entropy in a display of power. In the end, to save Kiana, Himeko donned the Godsbane battlesuit for Million Night, Eclipse. She defeated Hersher of the Void and injected the Spear of Destiny, a Honkai neutralizing serum, into Kiana at the expense of her life. Himeko fell.
They said it. They didn't say it previously that she actually died. They finally said it outright.
Into the imaginary space. Kiana might be a Hersher, but her friends and teachers still loved and believed in her as much. Yet their goodwill was too heavy to bear. Kiana wandered in Ark City after waking up from the nightmare. Honkai beasts and zombies hunted her. The whispers of the Hersher tortured her. She wanted to run, but had nowhere to run. Those pains and sufferings are predestined. She was test subject K423, the vessel of a Hersher, and the root cause of the world's and her loved ones' miseries. Would the world be a better place had she died? When Kiana was prepared to die with the Hersher inside, Fu Hua's sentience in her mind stopped her and the Hersher from reviving. Kiana finally remembered that Himeko sacrificed herself to save her because, as her teacher, Himeko believed in her potential to change the world. Kiana snapped out of grief and loss. To repay Himeko's faith, she will continue fighting her ill fate. With Fu Hua's help, Kiana learned how to contain the Hersher persona and utilize Hersher powers. She became a rogue hero that fought to save Ark City from destruction. Kiana discovered that the Honkai disasters plaguing Ark City were not related to the Hersher of the Void. They were the work of a shady organization known as the World Serpent. All traces pointed to a dreadful ploy, Project Stigma. The catastrophe caused by it would level Ark City to the ground. Kiana must transfer the Honkai bomb planted by World Serpent.
So yeah, this was also touched upon by one of the comments, that this ploy would like very counterintuitively was aimed at like eventually helping humanity in some way. I don't know if like by initiating like another like humanity reset or what was the plan. Maybe they will go into more details here, but it seems very counterintuitive to nuke the humanity to save the humanity, but that's what happens when you have like the lore of Honkai Third is really stacked. I mean, the humanity. The Honkai is such a fucking, you could say, impossible threat to overcome. So like that, I understand the desperate like measures
to save Ark City. She made it. Even though the Hersher persona and Honkai were eating her away, she did not fail Himeko. To change this
I still don't know if they were banking on Kiana actually saving the city, or did she actually get like put up a kibosh on their plans? Like the
unconscious
story of
Kiana was
Honkai
taken to the
is
Shicksal North African lab by Durandal.
the story of Honkai is so fucked up because you have all those organizations that are super fucking shady, but they are ultimately like trying to help humanity. But they are also fighting each other because they don't agree with the super shady methods the other organization is using.
Otto needed a Kiana who had harnessed Hersher powers to activate the second divine key.
Oh yeah, and there's
Secretly
the
manipulated, she
there's
broke out from
the
lab
there's the keys.
and escaped
subplot.
Kevin's pursuit under Fuhua's cover. Kiana returned to the ruins of Nagazora. She was ready to meet her end in the place where she first met everyone she cared about. She knew she had little time left as the Honkai core continued to corrupt her. To bring back Kiana, Mei set foot in Nagazora. Kiana had not stopped imagining how she would reunite with her friends once. Yet she could not seize the chance when it finally came. Honkai was growing thick in Nagazora. She had to step forward to protect the world and her friends, even if it would cost her her life. She had always been like this. She would laugh off the worst injuries. She saved the world, saved everyone, but kept the pain to herself. She was killing herself to protect the good in the world, but she had forgotten that she also meant the whole world to her loved ones. To save Kiana, Mei made a pact with Kevin. A new gem of conquest solidified in her body. She became the Hersher of Thunder again and joined World Serpent by choice. Mei knew her best friend would never accept her choice, but she could not create a future for her dearest if she held on to her past.
The words they are using to describe a relationship between Mei and Kiana is like it's meant to signify a certain relationship, a relationship that the historians later would describe as they were roommates. Yeah, they were good friends, you know. They just held hands, kissed each other with the tongue. Normal gear behavior. They just do that between each other, right? Me and the boys do that all the time.
After Mei left, Kiana and Bronya went to Mount Taishuan
I know that that has been discussed between me and the comments previously a little bit too, but like
in the illusion created by the Hersher
they have to like kinda dance around the relationships between the girls in Honkai. Because like they cannot I believe that they cannot openly promote such relationships in China.
To end this wretched story the way they truly wanted, Kiana stopped fighting alone. She chose to believe in her friends.
Yo!
In the theater of domination, built by the Legion Hersher, she confronted her fate for the last time. She accepted her fate and who she was. She and the Hersher of the Void were both continuations of Siren's persona. The Hersher of the Void was Siren's hatred toward the world manifested.
That's also...
She was the other possibility, born from Siren's desire for love.
That's also a very interesting concept.
Made this possibility a reality, turning her from test subject K423 into a Valkyrie who fights for all that is beautiful in the world, into Kiana Kaslana, who leads everyone forward.
Man, that's a dope as fucking outfit though. Holy hell. Man, Kiana gets some fucking drip throughout this series. Holy hell. So that's a very interesting concept. Like K4, the Kiana, essentially that's now in the story. She's not really Kiana and she's not really Sirin. She's a combination of both, which results in a different person altogether. It's an interesting concept. The one story that instantly comes to mind for me is JoJo Part 8, which explores a very similar concept, which I'm not gonna talk about too deeply because it's spoilers for JoJo Part 8, but like I really love that part of Part 8, so I'm assuming like I would enjoy that part of the story in Honkai. More reasons for me, just plate it up, you know, more and more and more and more reasons on my plate to just take the dive into the game. I heard it's obviously it's not as refined as later Hoyo titles because they would need to like remaster, remake the whole game for those earlier chapters to feel as tight as the newer stuff they released. But like I heard, like there's some junk to get through. It's very dialogue heavy. It's, correct me if I'm wrong, but is Honkai Third the most dialogue heavy, the most story heavy that Hoyo has ever did? Okay, now we have the animated short Everlasting Flames. I wonder what's like the next step after we beat that Shadow Fu Hua. Ooh. Ooh. That's a cool, like, that's a cool enemy. Like the puppet master with the region of puppets. Love that archetype in any like story it appears. And also those puppets just look very goddamn cool. Are those like enemies in game? Man, I keep like I just asked who's like the next threat after the Shadow Fu Hua. It's always fucking Honkai. What am I talking about? Like the threat is ever fucking present and ever constant. I'm assuming the thing that I thought didn't happen, right? Like there's no way two major characters were offed like that. Also that scene goes fucking crazy. The art direction is goddamn beautiful. Reminds me of some scenes from Gurren Lagann, specifically with that like shadowy hand, you know. I've been saying this previously too. Kiana has a really cool character design, and I liked a lot. And then she gets like that Herrscher outfit, which goes crazy. But I just gotta say it outright. Her with a fucking sword. Her with a big ass sword is what I needed, but I didn't know that I needed it yet. But it's always the answer. The answer is always waifu with a big ass fucking buster sword. I mean, Himeko was right there all along, and queen, you know. Man, that fucking feather ability thing is just crazy. You guys still don't fully understand it. Is it just a phenomenon that will keep happening? Is she like... Is like Fu Hua just in the air surrounding the atmosphere and chooses to engage with it from now on whenever she wants? Like I said, hardest design yet. It's impressive that they find a way to one-up themselves from the previous. Jesus, with those cinematics too, by the way. They just fucking find a way to one-up themselves from one like story arc to the other. Funny that I mentioned Gurren Lagann, because this is some Gurren Lagann coded shit. Believe in me who believes in you, Kiana. The only thing that they didn't one-up yet, for me personally, obviously it's a very personal choice, is I liked some of the previous music better. But that's quite a mountain to climb, because like I think Honkai Third has my favorite Hoyo music ever, like Star Rail, because obviously I didn't hear all of this music before. Star Rail previously was the one I would easily point to as my favorite musically Hoyo game, but I think this one has some better music, like goddamn, just from those cinematics obviously, but it's still like the music from the game, so. Just obviously not to say that this particular song, I love that they always include this message. It's so like, so heartwarming, you know, it just puts a smile on your face. Obviously this is not to say that this song is bad in any stretch of the imagination. It's all the music so far in this cinematics is fucking amazing. It's just, I'm waiting for them to like one up. I'm waiting for them to one up some of the previous music that I loved. I think the music that played in the cinematic where Kiana stopped the bomb from going off in the city was my favorite song so far. And like yeah, I just wanted to add on real quick that one of the comments also mentioned that the starting point where I started recording today was somewhere slightly above the 50% mark for the part 1. So when we end up, today is probably gonna be like 80% or something done with the part 1 story, and the next video is probably going to be the conclusion to part 1. This is a lot of story that happened, I think, I'm pretty sure. This is a story that happened over years of updates and years of updates and years of updates. And I will also definitely experience that the years of updates, because I will be reacting to version trailers next. So I will witness how the actual gameplay looked in the games. I will react that video separately, probably tomorrow, just to have it, like, you know, the sunlight making the video a little bit better visually. So this is Winter Memories. This is a concept animation. Okay. Yuri on Ice, if it was actual Yuri or something. And those are some cool, like, alternate fits for the characters. Damn. Especially this one. Was this to, like, promote an event or something in-game? Not sure why this is in the playlist, but it's a cinematic, alright, and I do dig those designs. So this is new arc trailer, pre-revelation. And from the little thumbnail I saw, I'm assuming this is about Otto. I think it's about Otto, guys. Hey! Okay. I wasn't expecting to see Shushang from Star Rail. They did mention that, like, she had like 6 or 7 disciples who betrayed her for unknown reasons, so I'm assuming that's one of them coming back. Does she, like, summon a giant chicken, though? God, she's just fucking aura farming every second she's on frame, man. Oh my god, this is this has to be, like, my favorite version of Raiden / Mei that I've personally seen so far. God, that, like, animation of her unsheathing goes hard. Okay, so now now the main focus is on Otto in the story. Okay, got it. I mean, he's kind of always been operating things from the, like, puppeteering things from the shadows, so. Okay. Colin mentioned. Man, it's so fucked up. I just gotta see the rest of the story too. I don't wanna theorize too much. Hey, there she is. I wonder if she's actually good in this one. She's pretty fucking terrible in Star Rail. But I still love her so much. And the chicken salmon. Equinox Crusade, the journey of Durandal. I don't know why I was about to hit you with a French journée or something.
少女从病床上醒来，面前是一个和自己同样有着金色头发的男子。男子名为奥托·阿波卡利斯，是少女的主治医生，也是天命的主教。在众人束手无策之时，是奥托将少女从鬼门关拯救回来。
Okay, so we're getting some backstory for the. What was she? She's like one. She's like one of the. I think she's one of the strongest Valkyries currently in Shicksal, or the strongest. I'm not sure.
那时的少女并不知道自己的命运已经发生了怎样的变动，更不知道眼前这个金发男子。 隐隐密谋着的惊天计划。Kiana 卡斯兰娜，这是少女原本的名字。作为齐格菲卡斯兰娜和 Cecilia 沙尼亚特的爱情结晶，少女在出生前就被寄予了种种。但第二次崩坏夺走了少女的一切。Cecilia 在那场战斗中不幸牺牲，而7年之后，因为一场与空之律者有关的意外。 少女自己遭遇了开头的那段故事，她成为了实质上的孤儿。在孤儿院那段原本不好不坏的日子里，比安卡遇见了天命女武神冲锋队的队长拉格纳罗德布洛克。即使经历过无数痛苦与牺牲，拉格纳依旧开朗阳光。
So the original Kiana became Durandal.
年冬天的西伯利亚。 这位如夏日般可爱温婉的老师。
That's a crazy fucking plot twist. That's crazy. I did not see this coming at all.
沿着他们开辟的道路继续前进下去。为了完成拉格纳老师所未能实现的使命，比安卡下定决心要成为天命最强的女武神。在参加天命女武神准入测试时，比安卡曾与丽塔擦肩而过。尽管那时两人并未相识，但奇妙的命运。 终究还是借着那次量子之海的任务，把他们联系在了一起。
The Sea of Quanta was mentioned in a lot in relation to the imaginary tree, and that's another like concept that's quite hard to grasp without playing the game.
12岁的比安卡与奥托为其配置的副官丽塔一起
I believe like
中的某个世界炮。 进入量子之海后，在与卡里多尼亚号的船长莎士比亚交流的
bubble universes in the Sea of Quanta are like what ifs or like alternate realities. I think the bubble universes in general.
任何触碰到障壁的生物都会瞬间灰飞烟灭。更糟糕的是，阿斯加德之壁在不断向外扩张，将世界吞噬殆尽也只是时间的问题。莎士比亚曾试图用圣剑幽兰戴尔破坏障壁。 却以失败告终。蕴含神秘力量的7颗宝石也散落到世界各地。为了拯救这个世界，他希望比安卡可以重新驱动这把圣剑，破坏阿斯加德之壁。于是，比安卡与丽塔成为了卡里多尼亚号的乘客，和莎士比亚一行人踏上了寻回7颗宝石的冒险旅途，遭遇了形形色色的事件，体验了各种各样的。
That looks so fucking fun.
他找到了所有的宝石。
I'm not sure if this is the thing they mentioned. Somebody mentioned there's a part of the plot in Honkai Impact that is kind of being mirrored in Star Rail right now, with the newest planet that they went to, and I'm wondering if this is it because it sounds like very enclosed story.
好在卡里多尼亚号的冒险同伴薛定谔博士急中生智，指出可以借助圣剑幽兰戴尔的力量，将整个世界炮繁衍进比安卡体内，由比安卡从外部世界保护它的完整。只要比安卡还活着，这个世界炮就还能作为一个整体存在。但是这也意味着比安卡从此要背负起守护另一个世界的责任。不过比安卡并没有因此而产生犹豫，他说
：“That is
女武神的人生。”
That is fucking crazy, first of all. Second of all, holy shit, the aura.
他们曾经使我获得了感
The aura emanating from Bianca, unparalleled.
而在任务成功回到天命后，少女也在自己的名字中加入了幽兰戴尔这个部分，以示自己的意志，将体内的世界炮接入虚数之术，
That's such a... Oh, wait a second, I gotta look in. They mentioned the...
接入虚数之术，防止他的命运与自己这个保护者过度绑定，从此成为了幽兰戴尔的一大目标。而奥托也自然将这一切看在了眼里。不过，更重要的是，为了承担起这份责任，不负那整个世界的重托，幽兰戴尔从此在一点一滴的事情上都会严格的要求自己。为了成为更强大的战士，他不断磨练自己的性格，努力让自己变得冷静、理性，甚至从一个咋咋呼呼。
That outfit is so cute. I love how like fantasy coded it was. I guess her current outfit is also very fantasy coded.
这件事发生在2015年。
With like the battle armor dress thing.
奥托将创生之剑黑渊白花交付给了他。虽然此刻的少女还不知道，这柄武器对她而言究竟意味着怎样一种厚重的传承。同年，奉奥托的命令，幽兰戴尔和丽塔一起前往伦敦，成功带回第二神之剑千界一城。而在参与第二神之剑的启动实验时，幽兰戴尔被一位名为苏的先行者拉入了须弥芥子世界炮内。
Hold on.
被迫参与苏以自身经历创作的试炼。在这一过程中，幽兰戴尔简单而直接的热情唤醒了因为与凯文的争执而深陷消沉的苏。出于对这种真挚之情的信任，苏决定把自己的救世计划交由幽兰戴尔转授奥托，并将须弥芥子托付给了幽兰戴尔，帮助他更自如地控制体内世界炮的力量。
Man, it's so fucking funny hearing all those names in Honkai Impact
这也是不灭
Third.
星矛的完整由来。从此之后，幽兰戴尔就开始配合奥托，一步步推进借用千界一城连通虚数之术的实验。可是实验屡屡陷入瓶颈，为了取得更大的进展，奥托需要妥善利用空之律者，甚至是凯文的力量加以辅助。2016年，随着空之律者在奥托操控下重临于世，整个世界进入了多事之秋。2017年，收到丽塔递交的烈月报告的幽兰戴尔，为了解救丽塔、回收 Kiana 而来到了天穹市。当时 Kiana 已经为了拯救天穹市而耗尽了自己的所有力量，正无力地从空中坠落。于是幽兰戴尔使用黑渊白花催生出巨树，接住了坠落的
Like
Kiana，
the best flowers and
保护起来。
so fucking funny to hear in a context of completely different context.
无能为力。在确认丽塔的安全后，幽兰戴尔将 Kiana 带回了北非的维穆尔实验室。对当时的幽兰戴尔来说，掌握空之律者力量的 Kiana 是奥托进一步实验的关键，而那时的他与 Kiana 之间也尚未建立起足够的信任。后来，由于实验室遭到世界蛇的突袭，这对姐妹的第一次正式会面便在一片混乱中草草收场。但对奥托来说，这次事件不仅让他确认了空之律者的能力，还更进一步与世界蛇的领袖凯文达成了历史性的合作协议。当时的幽兰戴尔不可能知道，至此，奥托复活卡莲的布局已经准备就绪，他只需要静静等待一个合适的时机，去一步步实现这个会将
Resurrect Kallen
计划。之后
Okay.
的珊瑚岛事件和石之律者事件。2017年6月，天命收到了一组奇怪的报告。
Okay, so this is the
他
puppet
们看似
master
毫无
thing.
关联，但背后却都有崩坏的影子。在奥托遭遇了石之律者后就一直失踪的情况下，代管天命的幽兰戴尔决定与逆商合作，将相关资料毫无保留地同步给逆商，共同对抗这一系列诡异事件的幕后黑手——千人律者。而在打败千人律者后的某一天，奥托突然回到了天命。准备已久的他，迫不及待地正式启动了把世界炮接回虚数之术的实验。
无论如何，这都意味着少女有了真正的机会，去完成幽兰戴尔这个名字代表着的重大使命。虽然从结果而言，目前仍没有办法实现世界炮独立的最终目标，但在老朋友石宇绮罗、尼古拉斯和圣剑小优的帮助下，少女找到了可以与人共同分担体内世界炮的方法。少女终于不用再独自一人承担守护世界命运的责任了。另一方面，这个实验的成功也意味着奥托的计划终于可以进入最终的实施阶段。
I wanna talk but there's so much story happening. I'm also gonna save it for later.
从未将计划全盘托出过。与此相反，他恰恰要利用幽兰戴尔认为他奥托也打算拯救世界的态度。他派幽兰戴尔于克洛斯城镇迎接德丽莎一行人，并以此为契机，在台前幕后不断使用激将法刺激他们。最终，当幽兰戴尔发现奥托即便牺牲整个世界也要复活卡莲的时候，他决定对奥托发起不惜诉诸武力的质询。这是幽兰戴尔第一次公然违抗主教的命令。将体内的世界炮托付给丽塔后，他只身前往教堂与奥托当面对质。虽然幽兰戴尔更希望打破砂锅问到底，弄清奥托真正的想法，但奥托并没有给他这样的机会，而是主动挑起了战斗。在与奥托的战斗中，幽兰戴尔在武力上胜过一筹，一时击败了奥托。不过，奥托也借机完成了伪神的升华，并一举将幽兰戴尔流放到了卡斯拉纳的圣痕空间，计划以借刀杀人之计，让幽兰戴尔在无意中帮助自己清理道路。复杂、混沌，没有尽头。在圣痕空间中，无数的记忆碎片几乎将少女淹没。而在最终知晓自己身世的那个瞬间，少女内心却因为一些并非自己的缘故而五味杂陈。她想起了那个人生中充满遗憾的齐格飞，想起了那个继承了 Kiana 之名的成熟战士。
Yeah, what happened to my boy Siegfried actually?
但如果那些真相会影响到自己
Cool as
所认
fucking
可、钦佩的
Water
人
Horse, by the way.
那就是另一回事了。或许少女的人生始于谎言，少女的行动过去始终在那位主教的计划之中，但少女从来不是谁的棋子，她所做的每一个决定都出于自己的意志，走过的每一段路都是生命中重要的瑰宝。无论使用哪个名字，是比安卡，是幽兰戴尔，还是卡斯拉娜和沙尼亚，少女都是那个满怀热血为世界上所有美好而战的女武神。过去如此，现在如此，将来
Oh,
也
that's
是如此。
so based.
少女心中没有迷茫，因为她相信自己会始终勇敢地走下去。在未来的旅程中，少女将继续坚守自己的使命，直到人类战胜崩坏的那一天。
Man, the story of Honkai Impact is so like character driven. It's so cool and refreshing actually.
那一天之后的每一天。
Yeah, that's a lot of things to find out at once. Holy fuck, Durandal is so goddamn based. It's unbelievable. From like her design, which is fucking fantastic. The one, her final, I guess you could say, design. You with this like armor dress thing. It like gives both fantasy and also like future high-tech vibes. It's so cool, and the like flowing extremely long hair. Amazing fucking character design. I would definitely be interested in pulling for this character if I ever get into the game, unless she's like actually dog shit to play or something. I hope not. Because fuck me, from the story perspective, I kinda fuck with Durandal more than with like Kiana, the de facto protagonist. Also, how linked they are in the story is very interesting. It's quite a goddamn plot twist to drop on you when you're playing through the game. And also, like I guess the final at the end of like all the Otto schemes is he wants to revive Kallen. I still don't necessarily know how he's alive all those years, because she's like from what, 500 years ago or 600 years ago, something like that. So I really wanna see all of that. I really wanna see how this story plays out, because this is a hype ass story. Definitely gotta get into the game because it's very interesting. Is all I'm gonna say. Anyway, yeah, this is gonna be all for today. Let me just see. So the problem with the reaction today was that a lot of the videos were, I didn't watch that many videos because a lot of them were long, like 10-12 minutes long, you know. The next time I'm reacting to cinematics, there's going to be a lot of like 2-minute, like little cinematics and trailers and stuff. I'm hoping the next time I sit down to react, these will be up to graduation trip cinematic, which I am told is the end of part 1. I am really going to try to push for that, even if that makes the video like longer. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Please leave me with your takes, interesting comments, tidbits of lore. I am loving it. Yeah, the one thing I didn't mention also is zombism is a actual solved problem in Honkai universe, which I found extremely hilarious. They developed like a medicine essentially for being a zombie. So it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. A zombie outbreak happened, which we have medicine for that, so it's no biggie. It's always just like a background detail. Love that. And all the other stuff, you guys, like I mentioned, explaining the imaginary tree, how the characters like relate in. It's very interesting. I am like, it's funny because like through the lens of learning more about Honkai Third, I am appreciating Genshin Impact and Star Rail more, while obviously Honkai Third is making quite an impression on me. And I haven't even played the game yet, so yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you as always in the next one.